My name is Emmanuel Kimani. I'm a lawyer at Kangwana in association with Clyde. That's our law firm. We offer commercial and litigation services. I'll be taking you through the digital service tax today. I'll be taking through an overview of the new regulations, the rate at which it applies, who it applies to, the services which it applies to, and we'll see how there's also some of one exemption, and we'll see how it's being collected and when it's due. So this tax was introduced by the Finance Act 2020, and it's on income from services provided through a digital marketplace in Kenya. It applies to incomes of residents and non-residents who provide or facilitate the provision of this service in Kenya. In order to implement this new tax, the Treasury published regulations to guide everyone on how it will be collected and who it applies to. So the regulations were published on 1st January 2021. So the digital service tax will apply at a rate of 1.5% on the gross transaction value, and this is exclusive of VAT. So the gross transaction value is, so for example, you've logged into Jumia and you want to buy, say, a laptop for the price of 60,000. So that's the gross transaction value. So the tax is 1.5% of that value. There is the digital service providers. And then there's a digital marketplace provider. So a digital marketplace is defined as a platform that enables direct interaction between buyers and sellers of goods and services through electronic means. So basically, any online platform where buyers and sellers meet. So in the example I gave, Jumia will be the digital marketplace provider. So they are basically offering a platform where vendors offer goods, and then buyers come to, so they offer the platform, vendors advertise their goods on there, and then buyers come on to the platform and order the goods. So the digital marketplace provider is Jumia in this case. And then the digital service provider in this case is the vendor who's offering the laptop for sale on the platform. So in the case of the digital service provider, who's the vendor who's selling a platform, the payment received as consideration for the services is the amount that is the amount that he'll pay the 1.5 tax. In the case of the digital service market provider, this is Jumia in this case, the fee they pay is 1.5% of the commission they receive for connecting this vendor with the buyer. The tax applies to incomes of residents and non-residents who provide or facilitate the provision of this service in Kenya. A person shall be deemed to be in Kenya if that user is accessing the platform through a computer or tablet or mobile phone. That's any interface, digital interface that's located in Kenya. So payment for the digital service is made using a credit or debit facility that's provided by a financial institution in Kenya. Any user who has a business or residential or billing address in Kenya. So where sometimes when you're logging onto the platforms, you indicate your billing address, residential address. So if that address is in Kenya, you're automatically deemed to be someone who's in Kenya, and the tax applies to the transaction that you make. Any downloadable digital content, including downloadable mobile applications, ebooks, and films. So these are subject to the tax. And any over-the-top services, including streaming television shows, films, music, podcasts, and any form of digital content. These are services such as Netflix. Since Spotify is new in the country, so Spotify is also a streaming service for music that we will have to pay this. The likes of Boomplay will also have to pay this tax. So for the subscription fees, you have to pay 1.5% of that, any other content that they sell. So moving on, sale of licensing or any other form of monetizing data collected about Kenyan users, which has been generated from the users' activities on a digital marketplace. So provision of a digital marketplace, like we said, Jumia, provides a platform. They sometimes, they do sell goods themselves, but they also have vendors who are separate from the Jumia company, provide goods. So they'll have to pay 1.5% on the commission that they gain from making these vendors and the buyers. Other subscription-based media, including news, magazines, and journals. Finally, any other service provided through a digital marketplace. So this is to rope in any other service that is provided through an online platform. They'll also be subject to paying tax. Online class, if you're taking online classes, sometimes some universities, not even based in Kenya, abroad, offer online classes, also subject to this tax. The case of content creators, and we have a market for content creators nowadays. People are using their online social media platforms to do marketing, to promote. So they'll also have to pay this tax. So licensed financial providers, so this is banks, who facilitate payments, lending, or trading of financial instruments, commodities, of foreign exchange, are exempt from this. So this tax is due at the time of the transfer of the payment for the service to the service provider. It's going to be remitted on the 20th of the next month from when the service was offered, but it falls due immediately the payment was done. So going back to my example of Jumia, so you've identified a laptop that you want to buy. So as soon as you make payment, the tax is due then. So if you bought a laptop for 60,000, so 1.5% of that is due at that time, but that's not when the service provider will remit it to KRA. It's going to be remitted on the 20th of the next month from when the service was offered, but it falls due immediately the payment was done. For residents, they'll be doing a filing. There's a prescribed form that they will fill on iTax, on their iTax portal. So that's on their using their KRA pins. So it's a self-assessment regime. So it's basically saying this is the sales I've made this month, and this is the income I've made, and this is the tax I'm remitting. So they will remit that through their iTax portals, KRA. Non-resident companies, so these are companies with no establishment in Kenya, they will be required to apply. And one of the first things they'll have to do is to get a KRA PIN. So KRA has issued guidelines for companies who are not based in Kenya to show them how they'll acquire the PIN, because everyone everyone needs a tax PIN to submit the tax. So yeah, there's a guide for that. Then as soon as they do that, they'll have to appoint a local tax representative who can then be remitting the tax on their behalf. So this tax representative will be responsible for accounting and remitting the tax to KRA. And the process that they will use to do this accounting is a process that is pre-approved by KRA. So there'll be a kind of system integration between KRA and those services like the Netflix and Spotify, so that there's a system of accounting and a system of knowing what has been paid and what is due to KRA. In case someone fails to pay this. So basically those service providers, if anyone fails to submit this tax or remit this tax to KRA, they might be liable to restriction to access of that, restriction to using that online platform until they make payment. Prepared a small write-up for people and we can share this with you. We have a small write-up on an overview of the tax and exactly what I've taken you through. It applies to the rate, when it's due, the penalties, and like also KRA has guidelines on how, has also issued guidelines for this, which you can find on their website.